Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Reydo, aka ReydoViews, and today I'm gonna be talking about the Anime Awards and going through my votes and all that stuff, and showing you that I have really, really bad taste. I would have liked to get you out a better video. However, my computer broke this week, so I thought this would be a fun little thing we could do. Thankfully, it's fixed, but yeah, I wasn't able to really do much this week due to that. So, yeah. I figured, let's do that. You can listen to this like a podcast. I'm just going to be throwing through the votes, and let's have a good time. It's the last day to vote. Oh my goodness. We're going to do Anime of the Year last, so I'm going to be skipping that one. And we'll just go down the list. Alright, so first off, Best Protagonist. And the nominees are Natsumi from Decadence, Katarina Claes, Yuji Itadori, Anos Midori from Keep Your Hands Off, and Shoyo Hinata. Okay, if you've watched my channel, you notice that I love Haikyuu. I'm a big Haikyuu guy, and honestly, Shoyo Hinata is one of my favorite characters. However, I'm going to vote him here not because he is my favorite. I'm looking at this critically. And I think out of all these characters in terms of growth, he has to be number one on the list as the best protagonist because of just of all the great stuff he's done. I'm a little bit torn between him and Yuji, I'm not going to lie, because Itadori, what I love about Itadori is he's also struggled from a lot of conflict in Jujutsu Kaisen in such a short amount of time. I can tell he's going to be a really good character, even though he's your standard knuckle-headed ninja like type beat. But Hinata is, although he is that, in terms of especially someone who's been an athlete, the amount of growth and understanding game sense and the kinds of things that were happening in season 4, won't spoil it for anyone who's not seen Haikyuu. However, really good stuff. Definitely check it out. Hinata is the epitome. I mean, he's basically Kobe Bryant, if we're being honest, just loving the process and all that good stuff. And out of all these, I just think he's the best protagonist as a protagonist. I haven't seen Misfit Demon King Academy History's Strongest Demon King reincarnates and goes to school with his descendants. I'm never saying that whole thing again. Or my next life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom. And I'm sure they're fun characters, but I just don't see them being any way, shape, or form close to Hinata. Asakusa, I think, is overshadowed by her counterparts. I forgot her name, but Long Neck Girl is kind of steals the show in that show. And yeah, I'm not even really going to talk about Decadence because I have barely watched it. So my pick is Shoyo Hinata. Best Antagonist, here we go. And the nominees are N from Dorohedoro, Sukuna, Rachel, Akito, Overhaul, Echidna. Okay, so first things first, you know I'm a shonen boy. Overhaul, I think, is super duper overhyped. Or not overhyped. He's not really overhyped at all. But he's just like very forgettable compared to the other villains in My Hero Academy. Honestly, My Hero Academy has really interesting creative villains, but they don't really do anything, at least so far in the anime. The exception of Handboy and Slade, but where's the Slade? Doesn't matter. So Overhaul doesn't really do much, in my opinion, and I think that's kind of a problem with My Hero Academy, is that it has really good like character designs and characters, especially protagonist wise, but antagonist wise, like they're kind of just evil to be evil, and I know that that's going to change after the anime, or like in the manga, so further down the anime. But so far they're there's a plan, but it's just kind of Akito is an interesting one. As a character, she's really good, but there's no explanation to why she's broken so much yet, which makes it kind of hard for me to pick her. As an actual antagonist, I mean, she's just kind of a bitch, you know what I mean? And when we're talking about like really good antagonists, I think they have to serve as a super great big foil for the protagonist, and Agito is that. However, on this list, I think there are two standouts that have a huge manipulation factor and do a super good job where they kind of blur the line between going with you and going against you. And I believe that would be Sukuna and Echidna. With Sukuna, I just think we haven't seen enough. And he's a very interesting choice because he's not a direct antagonist to our characters, but he's a direct antagonist to everyone in the show. Like, he is the curse of all curses, which I think is very interesting. And he's clearly against Itadori. You know, he has a chance to help him out and save a friend of his and just doesn't. And it's like so psychotic and evil, and I love that really big twist. And it's really interesting how he's going to be manipulating Itadori in the future. But I think for right now, he just doesn't have enough sauce. There's not enough going on there. He hasn't been shown enough. He just kind of is cool. And Echidna, I feel like, does the same kind of stuff in terms of psychological manipulation in that regard. But I think does it to a much better extent. And you can't, it really blurs the line. Is she good? Is she bad? And I think she kind of stole the show for ReZero. So I'm going to give it to Echidna. Some people I think are going to go with Rachel. In my opinion, Tower of God, the way it was cut was really weird. I didn't feel this long. I feel like I needed more space between Rachel being introduced and Rachel doing the things that she does at the end of the season, because it doesn't feel right. Like, it feels rushed. It feels forced. It kind of feels corny, honestly. Like, it doesn't feel like, it wasn't that shocking to me, because it was just like, I don't really even know this chick. Like, I never knew her. And we see how much she means to the protagonist, but there's no real explanation as to why. And even if there was no real explanation as to why, there needed to be an explanation of why she did the things she did. And it's kind of just like, oh, power. But it's just like, when you compare that to some of the other antagonists, especially other antagonists in the show, it's just kind of whatever. She's literally, she's just a cunt, and you're like, okay, move on, whatever, you know? So, and that's my vote. Confirm. I'm not going to talk about N because, unfortunately, I did not watch Dorohedoro. I told you I have terrible taste in anime, and you are seeing that in full form. I wanted to watch it. I just didn't get a chance to. And a lot of Netflix shows I wasn't able to watch. And you're going to see that if there's any B stars on here, because I won't be able to vote for it. I'm sorry. Best Boy. And the nominees are Dorohedoro and B stars. Okay. We love that. Gojo, Kun, Hinata, Anos. That is the longest. Why do they? This is a disgustingly long title. Misfit of Demon King Academy. Gojo's a really good one, but he's not a boy. That's a man. All right. Hinata's a good one. Hinata has some really good best boy quote unquote type moments, right? His laughing and saying I'm gonna receive it again and different things along those lines. He's just a little ball of sunshine. It's hard not to pick him for best boy. I told you I can't vote Dorohedoro or B stars. I know how good of a character Legoshi is, and I will watch it in the very near future, hopefully before season 2. But I can't vote it because I haven't watched it. Kun is a really good one. I think Kun is the best character in Tower of God because he's I don't know, I just really like him as a character. On who it made me select that. Misfit of Demon King, you're out your damn mind if I vote for that. I'm gonna go with Hinata. Gojo I can also see is winning this category, and I think that's perfectly fair. Kun is he's a very Killua type character, and like very intelligent, very Silver Surfer, but also kind of a badass, which I like. I think he's a really, really good character. I think he's the best character in the show. But if we're talking about like best boy and like the type of person that's supposed to be, I mean, Hinata's literally a ball of sunshine, so I think I'm gonna vote for him. You can make the case for Gojo too, but I just think Gojo's a man, even though he's a little idiot. So I'm gonna go with Hinata. Best Girl. And the nominees are Long Neck Girl, Chizuru, Noi, Katarina, Abigail Jones, Kageyama. This is a tough one. I don't really do the whole waifu thing, alright? But if I had to pick my favorite like character design from a show of a female is ONODERA from Nisekoi, even though Nisekoi is some hot ass. And Chizuru is literally ONODERA, but with assets. So, pretty high up there. But as a character, she's pretty cool too, honestly. I think Rent-A-Girlfriend is swimming in sevens. You know, it's just a really good show. That's not a really good show. It's a decent show. It's a really decent show. That's a lot of fun and very enjoyable. And I think Chizuru is best girl. But then again, there's Kanamori there, and she's looking at me with her little smug grin, and she's telling me I'm a little stupid idiot and beating me down, and I'm kind of thinking about voting for her too. What I like about her character is that she is like a boss bitch. She is the manager of like their whole... For people who haven't seen Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, it's about 3 girls in high school like making anime, and it really like... It's a really, really great show. 10 out of 10 for sure. And it really captures the feeling of just like wanting, like just the magic of anime and like wanting to build a skill set and like do something. It really captures the essence. It's almost like a Ghibli film. Like it's a very simple story, but you really get a feeling of like all this great stuff. I told you I can't vote for Dorohedoro. My next Life as a Villainess never watched because... I mean, the title's too long. And Great Pretender, Abigail Jones, super good show. But character-wise, she's just okay. Kaguya. Kaguya's a good one too. But my thing with Kaguya is, by herself, I don't think she's that great of a character. I think foiling with... I think the better girl is... I think it's Chizuru. I don't know. Not Chizuru. Chika. Kaguya is a good one, but I don't think she's that great of a character. I think in terms of the best girl, I think Chika is a better character, and she's really good as a foil to Shinomiya. I think that's his name. No, that's her. I forgot his name. I think it's Miyuki. As a foil, I think she is super good, and their dynamic is really good, and she has really great moments in the show. But I think her herself isn't really even the best person in her own show, so I just can't pick her. So I'm in between Chizuru and Saeki. If we're talking about character design, Chizuru, and honestly, as a character, she's really good. But Kanamori is also really, really good as a character. I think... this one's tough. This one's really, really tough, but I gotta make a decision. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes deliberating and just thinking about it, and then you'll see me pick. Okay, so I ended up deciding on Chizuru, and the reason being is because Kanamori, although she is a boss-ass bitch, the magic of that show, I think, is the dynamic between the three. Even if it's just her by herself, she would be an awesome, awesome, fun character. Whereas I think Chizuru literally takes Rent-A-Girlfriend and puts it on her little back and carries it up the mountaintop. Like, I think this show would not work without a character like Chizuru. She's just a really good, fun character. And she's not anything crazy, but she literally makes that show. She has a really good character design. I mean, the male protagonist is trash. All the other girl interests are trash except for the blue-haired girl so far. And so she literally has to carry that show. And you can make an argument for the other girl too, because she has a really fun, interesting story at the very least. I think Kanamori is she just is what she is. There's no backstory. There's no anything really there. She just is who she is. And Mizuhara, There's not much backstory there either because it's not there. The show's not there yet, but it'll be there eventually. Whereas I think Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin is kind of done. Like it is perfect as it is, even though it's a very short series. So after that long-winded explanation, I picked the chick with the brown hair. Best opening sequence, and the nominees are Easy Breezy, the Eve song. Yeah, I think it's Kai Kai Katan, Wild Side, GP, Daddy Daddy Do, and Phoenix. This is really freaking tough. These are all great, amazing openings. Phoenix is my personal favorite Haikyuu song. It makes you feel like you are entering the freaking stadium. The light is on you. It's time to play ball, okay? But it's amazing. But I think animation-wise, it's really good too. But I don't think it does anything special. I think Kakai Kitan has some really good motifs, and it's a beautiful, amazing opening. And the song's a jam, and Eve deserves so much respect. And Eve, I can't wait for them to just slowly, now they're starting to blow up now. It's awesome. Eve is so good. I've been listening to them forever. They deserve all the love. But I think when you look at anime openings, you have to think of Easy Breezy and Wild Side for this year. Wild Side, I think I love the song, not the least, but like one of the least in this, and it's a good song, but it's just like not my preference. However, it's still a really good song. The animation is super unique, super stylized. It's really awesome. The motifs are there. It's super good. And then Easy Breezy literally started an artist trend because of how funky and weird it was, and it just fits the show so well. But I think the song Easy Breezy, without the funky animation, like, they have to be paired together. And this is an opening sequence, so they are paired together, right? But I think they have to be paired together. Whereas the Wild Side, if it was muted, the animation alone is super spectacular. I think Daddy Daddy Do is a great song. And so is Great Pretender. And I think they both have fun, super great animations. But Daddy Daddy Do, Great Pretender has really, really good animation. You should not sleep on that opening. But Daddy Daddy Do, I kind of like Love is War, the first opening, better. And Daddy Daddy Do is super duper good, but it is not any of those Wild Side or Easy Breezy. Or for me, Phoenix, because I think Phoenix captures that sports spirit. But taking out my Haikyuu bias aside, I think I have to go Wild Side. The animation, etc., is just too good for me to just pass on that. Wild Side is an amazing opening, and Holly is gonna win some awards this year. I can tell you that, as they have an ending sequence. There it is, best ending sequence. Okay, yeah. And the nominees are, I'm not even gonna talk about this. Yeah, Great Pretender, you got Freddie Mercury, whippity freaking do. Lost in Paradise is a banger, and it is one of the best endings I've heard in quite a long time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's one of my favorite endings. It's literally my wake-up alarm. It's just so funky, it's so fresh, the animation is super stylized, it's fun, and it fits the theme of Jujutsu Kaisen to a T. I'm not even going to deliberate. I apologize. Freddie Mercury, Great Pretender. If you like Freddie Mercury, give it a thumbs up, but Freddie Mercury doesn't need Great Pretender. Great Pretender needs Freddie Mercury. So, that's how I feel about that. Best VA performance in Japan. And the nominees are Rihu, Wave, Listen to Me. I didn't watch it, I'm sorry. Megami Ogata, Yusuke Kobayashi, Yuichi Nakamura, Mutsumu Tamura. Oh, and Yusuke Onuki. I'm realizing that if you're not watching this, I'm just saying Japanese names. So we have Minori Koda from Wave, Listen to Me, Hanako from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Natsuki Subaru from ReZero, Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kanamori, Long Neck Girl from Keep Your Hands Up Isaacin, and the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited, the guy that's super deadpan, Daisuke. Daisuke's kind of fun, but I never really watched that show, so I can't really give it to that. Wave Listen to Me, never watched, sorry. Hanako sounds like a child, but is a very good voice actor. It's just a very particular style. All of these are great voice actors, but I think when you break it down to what is happening in a series, you have to give it to Subaru. Because these are all great performances, but the range that is shown from Subaru in season 1 and especially this season 2, there's just no one that has that kind of thing. And maybe it's Minare from Wave Listen to Me, or maybe it's Yusuke in The Millionaire Detective. I highly doubt it, but the things that Subaru is going to, and the voice capture, the voice that is captured for Subaru in ReZero Season 2 is just unmatched. Hanako and Gojo have the kind of playful, but they can be serious kind of thing going on, and they both do an excellent job. However, it's and maybe Hanako does it later on. I dropped it after 3 episodes. Sorry to say, but it was really good. I just not my type of show. But they all have the fun, playful thing going on, but it's not too crazy. It's just it's a really good performance, but it doesn't really have a lot of range. I think Kanamori is a really good one because she's kind of laid back, but then she does have that range of moments where she's like talking shit to someone, or like talking up to a big person, and she's saying a bunch of things. But I think that's more so a really expertly done thing of the voice acting direction and the dialogue that makes her a better character, whereas Subaru makes these screaming and this range and this pain he's feeling feel very honest and real. And I just don't see how you can't give it to Subaru this year, so I'm gonna vote him. Confirm. Best voice acting performance in English, and the nominees are, it doesn't matter because I haven't watched any of these in dub. So we have Hawks Zeno Robinson, Crispin Freeman from Fake Grand Order, I don't know how to say that name, Aaron Phillips, Great Pretender, Theory, I probably butchered that, Bam, Johnny Young Bosch, Legoshi Jonah Scott, and Echidna Anaris Quinos. I butchered that name. I apologize. I'm just gonna vote on who I know as a person. Johnny Young Bosch does really good stuff. Check out Johnny Young Bosch. Jonah Scott's also good. These are all good voice actors. I've never heard of the Echidna actor though. I don't know if she's new or if I just have been out of that for a while. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick Johnny Young Bosch's band. Sorry. If you are into English voice acting, please choose who you think is the best. I probably should have just skipped it, but it's too late. I apologize. Oh well. Best director, and the nominees are Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, Decadence, Jujutsu Kaisen, Great Pretender, Kaguya-sama, and Tower of God. Okay, so Great Pretender is a really good candidate for this because the direction in the show is super amazing. Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, is, when we're talking about the series, right? You want to either enhance a story that couldn't do it on the page, or it's got to be an anime original, because I think that direction is all about the music, the story, and all that stuff. But when the story's already handled for you, it's a lot easier to make the tone and all that stuff go okay. And so you have to elevate the series if you were doing not an anime original, if you're doing an adaptation, okay? And I think all of these do, that's why they're here, except Tower of God. I have to say, Tower of God on this list, I think, is just a Crunchyroll being Crunchyroll. Like, this is an original, they want to put it on there. I would rather have seen the God of High School direction, because although I don't love the story, the hand-to-hand combat is super spectacular. Tower of God has a really good soundtrack. But from my understanding is the content cut out of Tower of God makes it way worse, and it doesn't elevate it. And for me, if there was a longer space between Rachel, as I explained earlier, being introduced and the end of the show, the end of the first season, if there was a longer space in the manhwa and they didn't adapt it, probably because of funding, which is perfectly understandable, I just can't in my right mind say that even elevates it at all. If anything, it hinders it. So for me, that's a definite no. And I'm just gonna make it really simple. I'm in between Great Pretender and Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, because these are both really, really well-directed shows. And you can make a huge case for Great Pretender, but I think for me, Masaka Yusa and Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin really captured the feeling of a Ghibli film, and just like the magic that animation can capture, and being inspired by something and wanting to do something. The same way that as an athlete, I was really captured by Haikyuu and how inspiring it was, and how it feels to capture that magic of just like seeing pros be pros and wanting to play well and wanting to play like on that level or be better. It's a super magical feeling, and it's hard to capture, wanting to do something in that way. I haven't been so encapsulated by a show with magic, honestly, since I've watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I watched my senior year of high school. That literally made me sit up in my chair like the main character does in that show, and just bend over, lean in, and just really watch it and get into it. I haven't felt that way since then, and I've seen some really amazing shows since then, and stuff that I would put in my top 10. But I think to capture that magic is so hard. And I think when you talk about best direction, there's no other series other than this. I mean, to be able to flip between these normal day-to-day moments that are fun and exciting, with the animation, and you're seeing this like daily life stuff, but they're also, there's a lot of fun stuff like running from security guards and all this crazy action that's a lot of fun. You're able to switch from that to these dreamy, in your head moments, just like brainstorming, look at like the sketches that they draw, and the planning and all this other stuff, and all the stuff that's going into the animation. It's so hard to capture, and it's just so well done. I mean, you can't not. If you ever get a chance to watch this show, please do. You just can't replicate it. It's very hard to capture. From the moment the show starts, capturing like that Conan the Barbarian, like Ghibli, not Ghibli, Jesus, catching that Conan the Barbarian Miyazaki stuff, and like that feeling is so hard to do on its own, and then making that inspire someone to actually make anime, it just feels so raw and real. Like you can't not pick it. So yeah, best direction for sure. Even if you don't think it's the best anime, best direction. You can make an argument for Great Pretender, by all means do, but yeah, best animation, and the nominees are Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, The God of High School, Great Pretender, Jujutsu Kaisen, Princess Connect ReDive, and Beastars. Okay, this one's really freaking tough, because MAPPA is knocking it out of the park this year. Great Pretender, Wit Studio, you can count on them. Didn't watch Princess Connect ReDive, not my cup of tea, sorry. If it's good, congratulations. Beastars, the CGI looks super amazing. Told you I haven't watched it, sorry guys. God of High School has really, really amazing fight scenes, like super spectacular, and the characters look super good. It's hard not to pick that one. Jujutsu Kaisen as well, everyone looks super amazing. The animation throughout the series so far has been superb. And Great Pretender, I mean, the character design of Great Pretender is super sexy. Okay, that sounded a little creepy. They're super good. But And Great Pretender has some really great stuff. I love, like, even just the font of Great Pretender is just like, I don't know, it's a vibe. Um, I might say Great Pretender. And Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin has some really, that one's tough not to pick because it has a range of animation. It goes from not, it goes from these normal ordinary moments where like there's a lot of action and it's really good animation, and then it draws the animation, and then it's them drawing animation and then making an anime, and it like literally switches and it looks super good. The range of animation is amazing and it makes me want to pick it. In terms of prettiness, I think Great Pretender is the prettiest. And God of High School has the best choreography. Like, these are all really good animated shows. Like, you can't go wrong with picking any of these. Like, but I think because of the range that Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin has, I have to pick it because Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin is literally about animation, and they do such a good job of making you feel like, wow, like, it made me want to write again, and it made me want to do like creative things again. It's just such an inspiring show, and when the heartbeat of your show is animation, and you're able to make it that good and do it that well by showing the range of animation that you can do, it's hard to compete with that, man. We're not just talking about character designs, we're talking about animation. And although I would say Great Pretender is probably the prettiest show and has really good animated moments, and God of High School has the best choreography, and Jujutsu Kaisen is beautiful to look at as well, and Beastars honestly is really good to look at with the CGI. Princess Connect Redive, I'm sure it's fine, but it kind of looks very like glossy, stereotypical, kind of like Glass Lip, like really beautiful animation, just not a lot of content. But you know, I'm just judging. I've never seen the show, so I can't say anything on that. But Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin literally has the animation range, and it has to. It's the driving part of the series, and to nail that, to make it a 10 out of 10, it had to nail that, and it did, in my opinion. So I think I'm gonna go with Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Best character design, and the nominees are Naoki Asano, Hirotaka and Kato, and Sadamoto. Naoki Asano from Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, Great Pretender, Sadamoto, and Kato. Miyuki Ito from Hanako, BNA, Genis-chan, and Yusuke Yoshigaki. Masashi Kodo and Miho Tani, Tower of God, and Rumiko and Takahashi. Okay, Tower of God has really ugly characters, and they made them look pretty freaking good. Like, I gotta be honest, because Tower of God SIU is not the greatest of artists, in my opinion. I've never seen Yasuhime. I can't pick that one. I'm sorry. So I gotta give him props are due. However, character designs. Most of them are human. I think the ones that stand out are not human, and they're super good. Like Turtle Guy. And Kun is super fun. They have really good character designs, especially going up. So we'll get back to that. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Definite no. The character designs are super fun and exciting, but I don't think that's what makes I don't think that's what makes the show good. I can't talk. Great Pretender, I just said earlier, has some really beautiful character designs. I mean, these characters all look like different races, which is like, I don't know why. It's just a really hard thing to do, especially in anime. But they look like different people, which is a really good thing. And the style is really, really awesome. The animation's good. BNA, I honestly did not watch. I heard it wasn't that good, so I didn't give it a watch. I apologize. And Hanako, I love the designs and like how they're little chibi people. Like, it's a very unique and striking design. And honestly, the background art. Oh, the background art in that show, amazing. But this is about character design. And the villain, like, creature ghost things are kind of cool. However, I would say I don't like them nearly as much. I'm not picking Tower of God. Crunchyroll is trying to force their Crunchyroll originals on me, and I refuse. Because the character designs, although better, and they do have some very interesting ones, they do have a wide range. Oh man, I might actually vote for them, actually. But they're just like some of the characters are so ugly. Like Bam is just a white guy, and Rachel's just a blonde chick. Like nothing special. And then the one sister girl just has a horn. Okay. They could have done more creative stuff. But Great Pretender, it's hard for me to pick because they just look like people. But very good people. Is it the peak of all people? I don't know. It makes it hard. Naoki Asano at least has very different like character designs and like the way the characters look. However, I don't think the character designs are like what make the show good. Unless you're talking about the designs of the other stuff. But I will say that the character designs of the humans are very striking. It's hard to match up fantastical characters against normal people. It's honestly kind of unfair, if we're being completely honest. Because it's like you have so much more creativity when it comes to fantastical creatures. So you have to think like, okay, fantastical characters versus normal characters. So you have to think, okay, well, the fantastical characters, are they like really good fantastical characters? Or are they just like okay fantastical characters? And, you know, are these humans like perfect? You know what I mean? I would say the most perfect are Great Pretender. And with Tower of God, the fantastical characters are super duper good. But I think the human characters are super bland. Just in comparison in their own world. Like, they're nothing special. They're just people, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when I think of the sleepy dude, like, if he wasn't in a sleeping bag, he's just a guy, you know? He doesn't have really any outstanding features. He looks like the Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. hero guy. But when you got, like, Turtle Guy and the bunny, tower guardian person, and the best looking human character in that show is the guardian person. That there's the one that's blonde and looks like Hisoka. He's pretty good. But then there's the other one who like has the whole tea set and he's like the head honcho guy. He's probably the best human character design. And what I'm getting at is that when you look at the human character designs compared to the fantastical character designs, they just really don't stand out in Tower of God. So I'm going to go Great Pretender, but Tower of God, there's a really good argument there. I just think it's unfair when you're comparing fantastical to human, and I think that Great Pretender elevates human character design and faces to feel really realistic and fun, and they do a lot of creative, funky movements in the show that feel realistic and fun, even if they're not very like realistic. But that's what the animation is for, you know. The character designs and all that stuff. The reason they're not just people and they're animated is so they can do those crazy movements. And I'm gonna give it to Great Pretender. Best fight scene, and the nominees are Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo versus Sukuna, God of High School, Jin Mori versus Jeggle, Sword Art Online, Berkoli versus Dark God Vecta, Deku versus Overhaul, Brawler versus Master of Common Drive, and Jin Mori versus Han Doi. Okay, here's my thing. Jujutsu Kaisen. Wow, fun, awesome, amazing fights. I don't know if it's because it didn't make the cut, but Sukuna versus Gojo is a like 30-second fight, and I just can't pick it based on that principle. It is a super amazing, well animated fight, and it sets the tone for the show. However, it is just not the best fight in the show. Like, it's just a 30-second fight. Like, if we're gonna talk about Gojo's Infinity moment, maybe, or the fight against Handman, I don't remember his name. Then yeah, for sure. Like, those are some of the best fights this season, no doubt. But it's just not. They didn't pick the right fight. So I don't know if it just didn't make the cut for timing. I'm not sure. Akuma Drive, I've heard really good stuff about it. I want to actually check it out just because it's even nominated on here. But I haven't seen it yet. Sorry to say. Sword Art Online, been behind for a long time. And I started catching up, but not close enough. I'm not there. I don't even know who those people are. So, Deku versus Overhaul was a really, really good fight. But if we're talking about best fights in that series, the not the Overhaul, the God, I don't even remember his name. Todoroki's dad, Jesus, Flame Man, Fantastic Four, Human Torch guy. Yeah, Human Torch versus Wing Nomu, with like Hawks backing up, is the best fight in that show. It's the best. It's the best animated. It has the most. Has the most behind it. I would even say Gentle and Deku is a better fight. The thing about Deku versus Overhaul is just like they put the music behind it and they wanted to do the whole little Demon Slayer thing, like, oh, like we're really cool for doing that, like, but you're not cool for doing that. It doesn't make it better, and it doesn't make it feel more weighted just because you add some of that stuff. Although it is a really good and nice touch. I just think Overhaul as a character doesn't demand that fight scene to feel as impactful, and it's just kind of unfortunate because it's really beautifully shown, but every fight scene has to have some sort of weight to it, you know. It has to have meaning, and the weight comes from the characters. I think there's plenty of people that have made videos and different things on that, but the fight is a fight of ideals and dilemmas and character clashings. And Overhaul is just kind of like, yeah, I want to fuck up everyone's day, and Deku's like, I'm gonna be the best. And you know, we know the history of Deku, and he's obviously more than that, but the dilemmas clashing just doesn't make that much sense. If we're talking about like season 2, that fight, you know, that's a really good fight. That's would win this, but no chance here. And if we're going off of that, Jin and Jiggle, I mean, I don't even know what was going on. Animation super beautiful, but this is when it became like they became like superheroes. It's weird. And honestly, it was like too much going on. He's monkey man. It's just weird. And Jin and Han, I think, is the better fight, and I'm glad that they have both of them on here, at the very least, because Jin and Han, with their fight, it's like, it's very, very, like, stylistically really good. It's beautiful, like, they're beating the crap out of each other, but there's, like, these really cool, like, it just changes in the way it's drawn and all this stuff, and then you also know who these characters are, because they're the main characters, like, so it has to be that, you know who they are, you get this feeling of, you get the history, you get all of that good stuff, and with Jeggle, it's just like, he's just the bad guy, and he's, like, Sephiroth for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, Jin and Han are the best fight. Give it a watch. It's pretty fun. It's a fun fight. Best drama. And the nominees are Great Pretender, Fruits Basket Season 2, Japan Stinks, 2020. Sing Yesterday for Me, Somali in the Forest Spirit, and Beastars. I love all these shows. I haven't seen Sing Yesterday for Me, sorry. Japan Sinks is Swimming in Sevens. Fun show that has weird moments. I can't put it up here as the best. Beastars, I'm sure, is one of the best dramas in the list, but I told you I haven't seen it. Somali in the Forest Spirit. Probably the most underrated show of the season, in my opinion. Also, opening-wise, oh my god, amazing opening. I kind of wish that was on the list as well, but I mean, they had so many hitters, it's hard for me to even argue. But Somali in the Forest Spirit, that opening makes you, like, there's a magic, like, fantastical setting. Like, it really, like, it captures that feeling of, like, just adventure, you know, and that's really hard to capture. Drama-wise, I would say the actual drama of the show is the narrative, like, core of it. But it's more so about the adventure and the journey. And although it has some really, really dramatic moments, I would not consider the show even a drama. It's not the driving force. I mean, it is the driving force, but it's not at the same time. Like it's a car, but it's not the engine. Like, we're getting there with it, but it doesn't, like, you know, it doesn't, like, make it work. I think the fun fantastical and interesting world, as well as the fun characters and this relationship between the main character and the main characters, both of them, I think really drive that home. And although there is a drama part to that relationship, it's more so watching the good-heartedness of their relationship. So I think I'm gonna pick Fruits Basket. And Fruits Basket Season 2 deserves an Emmy. Honestly. Because this is a beautiful, beautiful show. And I don't think a lot of people are giving it a lot of attention because they think, oh, it's just a shoujo. And I thought so too. But this season in particular is a really beautiful show. This season in particular just takes it to another level in terms of beautiful, well done, creative, exciting romance. And you think like shoujo, you think like, oh, it's the same boy meets girl, they fall in love, corny. But I think a lot of anime romance stories struggle because they're so focused on the idea of romance rather than the idea of love, if that makes sense. Everyone in Japan, for whatever reason, when they like someone, they love them, like instantly. It's always love. It's never I like you a lot, let's date. It's I love you, I want to be with you forever. And that's just a hard feeling to capture in such a short amount of time. I think the only successful strictly just staying in high school, if we're talking about further and beyond, no, but strictly high school, I think the only one that's really captured it, in my opinion, is Toradora. And you really get a feeling for these characters in Toradora and like them falling in love. That's a hard thing to capture. And Fruits Basket Season 2 isn't about love. There's romantic parts of it, but there's not even a romance established yet. And I think that's what makes it so good, because it's focused on these characters who, when they get touched, they become animals, and all of their dilemmas that come with that, being misfits, being outcasted, being led astray, run amok, bamboozled. So just the way that that's handled, and then obviously you saw Agito as a antagonist, and she's a really good antagonist because she wants everyone to do everything the right way. And everyone feels like it's kind of all like they're all struggling under a parent who is really overbearing and controls their life essentially. But it's more deeper than that. It's more intense than that. And it does a really good job of creating really good characters and establishing really real dilemmas for a multitude of characters, which is really hard to do. I mean, it's a really big cast, and you feel like you should care about every single one of these characters in this season. And even in season 1, if you didn't really care about some characters, in season 2 you kind of do. It just is really well done. I was actually really surprised that such an old series, because I never really got through Fruits Basket because I didn't like the art of the manga. I was really surprised and taken aback that Fruits Basket was as excellent as it was, because with Fruits Basket, like, for such an old series, for it to feel like ground that I've yet to see be treaded on, it was really surprising, like just how well done it was. And I understand now why it is a classic. For that reason, I'm going to be voting Fruits Basket for the best drama. Great Pretender, you can also pick that one too. That's a really good one. I honestly Great Pretender is just so good. I don't even want to really say much about it except just watch it. Yeah. Best comedy. And the nominees are Keep Your Hands Off Isaac and Kaguya-sama, My Next Life as a Villainess, A Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, Kukushigoto, and The Misfit of Demon King Academy, History's Strongest Demon King Reincarnated and Goes to School with His Descendants. I'm not voting for that one because I didn't watch it. My Next Life as a Villainess, didn't watch it either. Both are probably fun shows, but they're, like I said, titles are too long, won't give it a watch. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, it sounds like a hentai, so I definitely didn't watch it. Kogishigoto, I don't know, I wasn't really into the humor. I actually dropped that one. I like the idea and the concept, but I just couldn't really get into characters. Granted, I only give it one episode, so I will say, if you like that show and you think it's super funny, more power to you. The humor didn't really hit for me. So we're gonna keep your hands off Isaacin and Kaguya-sama Love is War. When we're talking about humor, these are both like, they're super funny too because everyone memes the hell out of them. You know what I mean? Like they both have like super strong like meme stuff going on, and I think that's really really good for them. Keep your hands off Isaacin is really funny, but I think it's more about the magic of capturing like the feeling of animation. But it does have some really really funny moments, and I never really laughed out loud or anything like that. I don't normally when watching shows, but it was really really good and entertaining, and I can't deny that it was really funny. But I think I gotta go with Kaguya-sama because it just is hilarious. And the situations that they put themselves in for this ridiculous dynamic of trying to make the other person fall in love with you first because you're weaker if you fall in love first is just ridiculous. And I think it's really, really well done. The manga is super duper funny, and the anime is even funnier because it does a really good job with the camera shots. Especially the main character with his giant fish lens eyes, like he's going to freaking explode and kill the whole school or something crazy. Like this, the typical anime, like gonna kill everyone in the building. Yeah, just really good stuff. That's gonna get me freaking on a list somewhere for what I just said. Best score, and the nominees are Kevin Penkin, Yutakata Iyamada, Satoru Kosaki, Uruchachi, Elisa Okazami, Kazuki Ushia. Okay. Can't vote B-Star, sorry. Honestly, these all have super amazing soundtracks. Great Pretender is like jazz. Like, it feels like jazz, and the OST is really good for that. My thing is, I don't really listen to the OSTs that much, so, like, they have to really stand out for me. The OST I listened to the most recently, obviously, is Haikyuu, because I've just been on a Haikyuu high. And it has a really good OST, and the music in Season 4 is super duper good. It's not here, though, and that's perfectly okay. I think of the weird sounds that come from Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin a lot. Like, the weird, like, kind of sounds, and the OST that plays, like, specifically that one song that plays at the beginning and a lot throughout the series, but when they do, like, an animation moment, but when they're, like, traveling in the little dragonfly, and, like, everything opens up, and they're like, this is the center of the world, or something, like, ridiculous. They're just, like, imagining these things. I think of that song a lot, but that's one song. And Great Pretender's got this real funky vibe. The characters move in a jazzy vibe, and the song kind of matches it. So I think I'm gonna go Great Pretender. Ba-da-ba. Best couple, and the nominees are Nasa Yuzaki, and Tsukasa Yuzaki, Tonikawa, Kaguya and Miyuki, Legoshi and Haru, Kotoko and Kuro, Katarina and Maria, Chizuru and Kazuya. This is cool if this is a real relationship, that they actually have a lesbian relationship. That's kind of awesome. Good for them. Japan, moving forward. Never saw it. Can't vote on you. Sorry. Inspector, you as well. I'm gonna leave Legoshi and Haru in here for a little bit because I might have to pick it. And here's why. Chizuru and Kazuya have a terrible relationship. Kazuya is a donkey. They're a terrible couple together. Chizuru deserves way better than him. And they're not a couple. They're a fake couple. They're pretending. And they've yet to become one. I like the moments they have, though. They're starting to have subtle moments. Same thing with Kaguya and Miyuki. The whole show is about falling in love or not falling in love. They're not together. They're not a couple. So they're not the best couple because they're not one. But they have some really good loving moments, just like Chizuru and Kazuya. Tonikawa I've never seen. I've only seen clips. And it looks really cute. Honestly, it looks like a really cute show. Not my type of show, but it looks really cute. Legoshi and Haru is basically like furry fun time. Like, but I'm sure they have a really good relationship. it makes me want to vote them because all the other ones I haven't seen or I don't care for. At least I've seen clips of Legoshi and Haru and Tonikawa. And the other two just aren't couples, so I can't vote them. I think I'm gonna go with Tonikawa because I don't really know Legoshi and Haru's relationship. All I know is they be fucking constantly. But you know, that's how rabbits roll. But Tonikawa, it's a really cute couple, and they're probably a really good couple. I mean, they're married, but I haven't seen it. Only seen clips, so that's what I gotta go off of. I'm sure one of these two, Kaguya or Chizuru, this couple relationship will probably win. But you're wrong, because they're not a couple, and you should feel stupid for voting for that. You bozo. Just kidding. Best Fantasy. And the nominees are ReZero, Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai, Decadence, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Part 2, Tower of God, Dorohedro. Okay, here's my thing. I haven't seen all of these. Dorohedro, I haven't seen. I like that it's in fantasy because it is a fantastical setting, but it's like a not cyberpunk, but just like punk. Honestly, just modern punk. Decadent, Studio Nut. In terms of, is it best fantasy? Is it best show or world? Because world-wise, Decadence, you know. But I mean, ReZero is a 10 out of 10. Honestly, modern day classic. It's a cult classic right now, and I think you're gonna see in the next few years people are gonna be calling it a classic. And it's just that good. I can't not vote for that for best fantasy. Dragon Quest: The Adventure Die. I honestly want to watch, but I just haven't. Ascendance of a Bookworm is about a simp, not my cup of tea. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about the show, but the main character looks like a simp. It doesn't make me want to watch it, and I just haven't. You know, I've heard it's good. I've seen Mother's Basement make a case on it on a video. I didn't watch his video, but I saw that he made a video at the very least. You know, so I know people are really enjoying it, but it's about a guy who's a bookworm. Why would I want to watch that? Just not for me. Tower of God is not good. The manhwa is, but the anime is not, in my opinion. I think it's a solid 5. Just because it's a 7. It's enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable show. But it just cuts out, like, important moments that I just can't get into, you know? ReZero has to win this. I mean, ReZero should have been nominated for a bunch of other parts, but it's a season 2, so I get it, you know what I mean? But ReZero is so good. Give it some freaking love. And we're scrolling up. It is the finale. Anime of the year. We're gonna pick the number 1 freaking anime. Strap in, boys. We're going in. And the nominees are Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, Jujutsu Kaisen, Great Pretender, Apparamame, Beastars, and Dorohedro. Okay, look. Dorohedro and Beastars, I can't vote. I'm sorry. Apparamame, I love the world and honestly has a really awesome female protagonist. But you notice how it wasn't put on any of the other lists? Because the characters and all the other stuff are just not nearly as good as the other ones on this list. You know what I mean? Like, maybe as a collective anime, it's super great. But there's a reason why it wasn't nominated for anything else on the list. Because it's just it's not the best at all those things. Whereas some of these other shows are. And that's kind of how I feel about it. So yeah. Definitely a great show, though. Give it a watch. Deserves to be nom. I love the nom. It deserves a nom. But I think when you got like Great Pretender, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, and for me, Jujutsu Kaisen, sitting up here looking at you all funny like, it just doesn't stand a chance. It just doesn't. So, okay. Jujutsu Kaisen, Great Pretender, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. I think Jujutsu Kaisen's probably going to win because it's the most popular. That's normally how this category works. Kind of is what it is. But it really does, you know, sometimes the anime of the year will have a shonen in it and that doesn't really deserve to be there, because it's just, you know, shonen, the most popular, they just put it on to please people, and I get it, you know. But Jujutsu Kaisen really deserves all the love. I mean, the animation is amazing, the soundtrack is amazing. It has the best one of the best openings of the season. It has the best, or the year, it has the best ending of the year, and damn near since, like, of the generation, in my opinion. I haven't heard as good of an ending since Kekai Sensen's ending, which is Sugar Song to Bitter Step, I think. I always mess that up. But Sugar Song to Bitter Step, I'm pretty sure is it from the Garden People. God, I'm blanking. It doesn't matter though. Jujutsu Kaisen has all of the things going for it. It's super exciting. The fights are fun. It's awesome. The humor is there. It's a really funny show. And on top of all of that, the characters feel super good and believable. The plot makes sense, and there is real stakes, and they do a great job of setting up stakes. And that's so hard for shonen to do these days for whatever reason, because it's like, yeah, anyone can die anytime we're fighting, haha, but no one dies. You don't feel the stakes. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like heavy stuff, and you feel that. The only other one I can, you know, if it's about something else, then it's different, you know, like, but we're talking about strictly fighting to survive shows. It feels heavy, and it's a really good thing for it. You think of like One Piece, but that's about adventure, and you feel that adventure. Like, the core thing about Jujutsu Kaisen, what you want to feel is that there is danger at every corner, and you feel that, and I think it really deserved the nom. But I think Great Pretender and Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin kind of do something special, and they're both anime original too, which kind of, in my opinion, kind of ups them, because it's like, these are just coming out of nowhere, and these guys are geniuses for doing this stuff. Great Pretender does a really amazing job of making a really fun and believable story about con artists, and they do an amazing job of going to all these different locations and really like elevating those locations and then performing their jobs. And it's fun, it's exciting, it's funky, it's fresh, it's jazzy. The animation is beautiful, it's very stylized. Like, stylistically, it's amazing. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, I've talked about a lot. And when I originally was doing this, like, when I originally was like starting to do this, when I opened up this page, I didn't think I would think so highly of Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin for this year. But when I really think about it, like, and I told you, I got that feeling of watching it and sitting up and being so sucked in, like I'm watching there's this magic, this feeling. It captures the magic of an anime, of making anime, but it captures the magic of being enthralled into this skill. You're immersed, you're sucked in. I couldn't put down the screen. You know, I watched it week to week, but it was like I needed more. Like, I needed to watch the whole thing. I needed to binge it. Like, I wanted to, because it was just so magical. And the passion, you just feel the passion. Like, you know that Masaka just gave you in the palm of his hands, like, this is what animation means to me, and I hope you enjoy it. Like, I love this stuff, and I want other people to love it just as much as me. I mean, talk about, all of these shows have very particular plots, and out of all of the plots, one of the ones nominated here for Anime of the Year is about making an anime for the first time, so that you could it's about those people who want to make the best anime that they can, who in the future in the show probably would want to be nominated for an award such as this. It's just so ironic, and it's just perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it has to win Anime of the Year. It might not be the greatest anime of all time, but what it is the Anime of the Year, and it's an anime that captures the magic of anime and passion. There's not a story like it, and it's, you know, you can like different anime more, and there are anime that do things better, but Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin does anime the best out of all the anime. You know, it has the best direction and some of the best animation, the range of animation. It doesn't just take you on this plot story, and it doesn't just look good. There's a real, like, the way the animation changes and all the different stuff is all meant to have you feel that passion and to, like, really get a great understanding of this love. And so, without gushing about it anymore, I think there's no other choice than Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin as the anime of the year. Clap it up, guys. Woo! We did it. We have voted. Thanks for voting. Your digital surprise will be sent once the voting phase ends. Ooh, a digital surprise. That's exciting. We did it. Look at all those check marks. How fat. I'm not gonna, you heard me deliberate on these. I'm not gonna go through these again. I'm not gonna show you what I picked for all of them. Like, I'm not. I refuse. That's gonna be the end of the video. I just want to make it look really nice. Boom! Look at that. Wavy. Thank you so much for watching if you did, or listening if you did as well. That was really, really fun to do. Hopefully not hopefully. My computer's fixed, so I can hopefully, so I can make better videos. Or I can make a better video again, or a more intensive video. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, you know, subscribe, thumbs up, share with all your friends, all that good stuff. And yeah, let me know in the comments what are your picks for the year? Who is your anime of the year? And if you want, who is your best protagonist, antagonist, boy, girl, opening sequence, ending sequence, Japanese performance, English performance, best director, animation, character design, fight scene, drama, comedy, score, couple fantasy. Yeah, who are your best for the year? Let me know down in the comments. What would you wish have gotten nominated that wasn't nominated for anything, or would have gotten nominated for anime of the year, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.